Yes, indeed. Sister Martha and I have been talking all week about your sermon last Sunday. It's really quite wonderful, Dr. Harper. In only 2 short years, you've taken on the spirit of Brooklyn.
That's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
You see, living here next to the church all of our lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. The spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliness, and your sermons aren't so much sermons as friendly talks.
Personally, I've always enjoyed my talks with Carl Gibbon. Or have I met him?
No, dear, not yet. Are the biscuits good?
Bully.
Another biscuit, Dr. Harper.
No, thank you. I'll have no room for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that lovely jam.
But you haven't tried the quince. We put a little apple with it to take the tartness out.
No, thank you.
We'll send you home a jar.
No, you keep it here so I can be sure of having it with your biscuits as well.
I do hope they don't make us use my imitation flour again. Won't this war trouble and everything? It might not be very charitable for you, but I'm beginning to believe this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
If only Europe were on another planet.
Europe, sir?
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other direction.
Gun.
To the west. That's your enemy, Japan.
Yes, of course.
Teddy.
No, not so much talk about war. More about the canal.
Well, let's not talk about the war. Would you like another cup of tea, dear?
No, thank you.
Dr. Harper.
No, thank you. Although, Miss Abby, I must admit that war and violence do seem far removed from these surroundings.
It is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day are all here in this house. The virtues that went out with candlelight, good manners, and low taxes.
It's one of the oldest houses of Brooklyn, just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it, except for the electricity, and we used that as little as possible. Mortimer persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, your nephew Mortimer seems to only live by electric light.
Oh, well, you can't blame him. The poor boy has to work so late. Speaking of which, I hear he's taking a lantern to the theater again tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be here a little later.
Delighted.
We're so happy it's Elaine Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Well, it is a new experience for me waiting up till 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
Well, Dr. Harper, you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
No, Miss Abby. And I'll be the first to admit that I believe Mortimer himself to be a worthy young gentleman. But these past few months I have watched the growing intimacy between him and my daughter with some trepidation. For one reason, Miss Abby.
You mean his stomach, Dr. Harper?
Stomach.
His dyspepsia. He's bothered with it so, the poor boy.
No, Miss Abby, I'll be quite frank with you. I am referring to your nephew's unfortunate connection with the theater.
The theater? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, I know. But your dramatic critics are constantly exposed to the theater, and I do but wonder that some of them do develop an interest in it.
Well, not Mortimer. Why, you have no need to fear that. Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes. He writes terrible things about the theater. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about. And then you make him take this terrible night position.
My.
But, as he says, the theater can't last much longer anyway, and in the meantime, it's a living. Yes, I think I think of the theater another year or two, perhaps. Now, who can that be? No thank you, Teddy. I'll go. Come in, Miss Brophy.
Hello, Miss Brewster.
How do you do, Miss Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster.
Good morning, gentlemen. What news have you brought me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Good soldiers, at ease.
You know Dr. Harper.
Sure. Hello, Dr. Harper. We've come to pick up the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes.
That is splendid work you people do, fixing up discarded toys for poor children to have a better Christmas.
It gives us something to do while we're sitting around the office. You get tired of playing cards. And then you start cleaning gun. The next thing you know, you shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, go upstairs and get that big box from Aunt Martha's room. How is Mr. Brophy doing?
Judge!
Mr. Brophy's been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, he's better now. A little weak still.
Why, will you get you some beef broth to take to him?
Don't bother, Tab. You've done so much for him already.
Oh, nonsense. We made it this morning, Sister Martha and I. She's taking over something to poor Mr. Beninsky right now, and we'll be but a minute. Sit down and be comfortable, all of you.
Gee, you shouldn't go to all that trouble.
Listen, try to stop her, sister, doing something nice and for nothing. They don't even care how you vote.
When I received my call to Brooklyn, my wife, well, she wasn't well. When she died, and for months before, if I've known what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, you promised not to do that.
Perhaps call cavalry to get a release from their supplies. George!
He used to do that in the middle of the night. Neighbors Chris came with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
Well, he's quite harmless.
Suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There are a lot worse people you could think he was.
Damn shame. Nice feeling like this, hatching a cuckoo.
Well, his father, the old girl's brother, he was a bit of a genius. And his father, Teddy's grandfather, it seems to me, he was a bit crazy too.
Yeah, it was crazy like a box and made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, had a medicine. He was a quack of some sorts. Or Sergeant Edwards from Emerson. He was a house here, sort of a clinic. Tried him out.
Heard he used to make mistakes sometimes too.
The department never bothered him much about it because he was pretty useful in autopsies sometimes. Especially in poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, he left those girls fixed for life. Thank God for that.
None of they ever spend any of it on themselves.
I'm well aware of their charities.
You don't know the tenth of it. When I was working with the Missing Persons Bureau, we were tracking that old man we never did find. You know, there's a renting agency that's got this place down for furnished rooms. They don't rent rooms, but you bet anyone looking here for one goes away with a good meal and probably $2 in their day.
It's just their way of digging up people to do some good to.
Well, now isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, Miss Brewster.
Good afternoon, Miss Brophy, Dr. Harper, Miss Klein.
Hello, Miss Brewster. We're here to get Christmas toys.
Oh yes, Teddy's our main baby. They do well. They're all packed.
The colonel's upstairs after them seems the cabinet has to okay.
Oh yes, of course. I do hope Mr. Brophy's doing better.
He's doing fine, Andy. Our sisters really needs a suit to take to him.
Oh yes, we made it this morning. I just took some to a poor man who broke ever so many bones.
Oh, Martha, you're back. How was Mr. Beninsky?
Well, dear, it's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. He's going to amputate in the morning.
Can we be present?
No, I asked somebody if it's against the rules of the hospital.
You shouldn't bother yourselves. You give no service. And you must spare yourself something.
Here's the broth, Miss Brophy. Be sure it's good enough.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's Teddy with those Christmas toys? We gotta get going soon.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be out in a minute.
Oh, there he is.
This will do just fine. That O'Malley boy sure can nuts about soldiers.
Let's do your miles. I'm retired, David. What's this? The Oregon?
Teddy, dear, put it back.
The Oregon goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy.
No, I mean my word by Bob Evans.
But Teddy,
What matters what kid gets it? Bob Evans, is he calm? Well, we must be going, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Not at all. Goodbye.
I better be on my way as well.
Before you go, Doctor.
George!
he pretends the stairs are in San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to convince him that he's not Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
He's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
Well, once a long time ago, remember, Martha? We thought if he could be George Washington, it might be a change for him.
But he said that in his bed for days and just wouldn't be anybody.
We'd so much rather he be Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, if he's happy, and what's more important, you're happy, you'll see that he signs these.
What are they?
You see, Dr. Harper's made all the arrangements for Teddy to go to Happydale Sanitarium after we pass on.
But why should Teddy sign any papers now?
It's better to have it all settled. If the Lord should take you suddenly, well, we might not be able to convince Teddy to commit himself. Mr. Witherspoon understands they're to be filed away immediately for when the time comes to use them.
Mr. Witherspoon, who's he?
Well, he's the superintendent of Happydale.
He's going to stop by the next day or two to meet Teddy.
Well, I better be on my way or Elaine will be looking all over here for me.
Give my love to Elaine, and Dr. Harper, don't think too harshly of Mortimer because he's a dramatic critic. Somebody has to do those things.
Did you just have tea? Is it rather late?
Yes, and dinner's going to be late too.
So, why?
Teddy, good news for you. You're going to Panama to get unlocked for the canal.
That bully, just bully. I should prepare for the journey right away. George!
I've been a long time.
Well, I'll run right downstairs and see.
Oh, no, dear, there wasn't time. I was all alone.
Well,
Martha, just look in the window, see? Oh, it's Elaine. Come in, dear.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought Father was here.
he just this minute left. Didn't you meet him?
Oh, no, I took the shortcut through the cemetery. Has Mortimer come by?
No, dear.
Oh, well, he told me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Not at all, dear.
Why don't you sit down?
You know, we really must speak to Mortimer about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, he was brought to know better. When a gentleman is taking a young lady out, he should call for her at her house.
Oh, there's something about calling for a young woman at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
No, dear, we really must speak to him. He said this too often to you.
Oh, please don't. It's a wonderful change from men whose idea of nightlife is taking me to the local prayer meeting. It's just so wonderful to go to the theater every night of my life.
Well, it's comforting for us too, you know, because if Mortimer has to see some of the things he has to see, well, at least he's sitting next to a minister's daughter.
Oh, Elaine, what you must think of us. I'm having tea cleared away by this time.
Oh, it's a real issue, no issue at all.
You know, we're such a mess nowadays. Tell me, dear, how was church?
Oh, it was wonderful. I'm sorry I didn't see you there this morning.
Oh, we didn't wake up in time, but we'll be there every Sunday after.
Oh, of course, of course.
Now, don't you start getting in the kitchen until Mortimer comes, and then I'll help you. Mortimer should be here any minute now, dear.
Oh, well, I better run along home and tell Father good night. He must have been shocked not to see me when he got home.
It's a shame you missed him.
Oh, well, if Mortimer comes by, why don't you tell him I was here? Oh, hello, Mort.
Hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Mark.
Hello, dear. Abby, Mortimer's here.
Were you going somewhere?
Oh, I was just going home to tell Father not to wait up for me.
I didn't know that was still being done even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Aunt Abby.
How are you, dear?
I'm all right. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
Oh, my goodness, it was yesterday, wasn't it? Well, come sit down.
Oh, Abby, haven't we something to do in the kitchen?
Huh?
You know, the tea things in the kitchen.
Oh, yes, the tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home.
Just make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, a lack of inventiveness, I suppose.
Oh, of course that's what you would say.
Well, where do you want to go for dinner?
I don't know. I'm not very hungry.
I just had breakfast. Suppose you wait until after the show?
Well, that'd make it pretty late, won't it?
Not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I've heard, we should be back at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You have to be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
Well, I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
The musical isn't opening tonight.
Oh?
No, darling, that happened on the rules. There are always 3 postponements and 4 changes of title. They liked it at New Haven, but it needs a lot of work.
Oh, I was hoping it was a musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not in the slightest. After a serious play, we join the proletariat and I get a lecture on the drama. After a musical, you take me home in a cab and you make a few passes.
Now, darling, that is a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
It wasn't until after the Merriman play that you told me I had authentic beauty. And that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. It wasn't until after our first musical that you told me I have nice legs. And I have too.
For a minister's daughter, you know a lot about life. Where'd you learn it?
In the choir loft.
I'll have to explain that to you sometime, darling. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Religion never makes it up as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I better tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
You know, I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with a girl in Brooklyn.
Falling in love. You're not stooping to the articulate, are you?
Well, I suppose the only way I can regain my self-respect is to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
No, I've come to the conclusion that you're holding out for legality.
Oh, I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
And I can't wait that long. Where do you suppose we can be married in a hurry? Say, tomorrow?
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
God, even your father can make the marriage marriage service sound pedestrian?
Are you by any chance writing a review of it?
Forgive me, darling. It's an occupational disease. Well, I suppose I'll telephone Winchell to publish the bonds.
Nevertheless, I'd better tell Father to wait up for me tonight.
All right. Well, everything formal and legal. But no later than next month.
I'll talk to Father and set the date.
Oh, well, we will have to see what's in rehearsal because, well, there are a lot of other first nights in October.
Hello, Mortimer. Hello, Mr. President.
How are you?
I'm doing great. What news have you brought me?
Oh, just this, Mr. President. The nation stands squarely behind you.
I know, isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama.
Panama's the cellar. He goes down there to dig locks for the canal.
Oh, you're so sweet to him. And he's very fond of you.
Well, he always was my favorite brother.
Your favorite. Are there others?
Oh, yes, there's another brother, Jonathan. He left Brooklyn very early by request, and he was the type of boy that liked to cut worms in two with his teeth.
Well, what became of him?
You don't really know. He wanted to be like his grandfather, but he never went to medical school, and his practices got him in trouble.
Aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
Oh, we're not having dinner here. The show doesn't start for another 30 minutes.
Oh, well, we'll leave you two alone together again.
Oh, don't bother, Brownie. I better run home and talk to Father. He likes to pray with me a little before I go out with you. I'll be quick. I'll cut through the cemetery.
Oh, if the prayer isn't too long, I'd have time to leave you by the still waters.
Mortimer, that's the first time I've heard you quote the Bible. We knew Elaine would be a good influence on you.
Yes, and by the way, we're going to be married.
What? Oh, darling. Martha, Martha, come in here. I have some wonderful news for you. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married. Oh, Mortimer. We hoped it would happen just like this. Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Oh, happy. Just look at her, leaping over those gravestones. Wait, what's that?
What's what, dear?
That's a horned undercarnina.
Oh, no, dear. That's going to be stout ascending to heaven.
No, that'll never be Stout's left ear. That's a red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those before.
I don't think you're thinking about a bird now. What with the length of the engagement and everything?
It's a vanishing species. I write about it in my chapter on Thoreau. By the way, have you seen it somewhere?
Well, if you left it here, it must be here somewhere. When are you going to be married? What are your plans? Shall I do something more you can tell us about Elaine?
Oh, Elaine, yes. She thought it was wonderful.
What was?
My chapter on Thoreau.
Well, when Elaine comes back, we have to have a celebration. We must drink to your happiness. Martha, should have Lady Baltimore cake left? Oh, yes. And I'll open a bottle of wine. And to think it happened in this room.
Now, where can I put that?
Well, with your fiancé saying tonight tonight, hopefully the play is enjoyable. Maybe something romantic. What's the name of it?
Murder Will Out.
Oh, dear.
When the curtains open, the first thing you will see is a dead body. Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha!
Yes, dear?
You made plans for today to go to that sanatorium, Happydale.
Yes, dear. Dr. Harper brought the papers for Tate to sign today.
He's got to sign them right away.
Well, that's what he thinks. That way there won't be any legal difficulties after we pass on.
He's in the cellar, isn't he? Get him up here right away, I tell you.
There's no such hurry as that, dear. No, once he starts working in the cellar, you can't get his mind of anything else.
He's got to sign it immediately, right away.
Now, Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Why, as long as we live, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
Now, darlings, I'm frightfully sorry. I have some terrible news for you. Now, we've all got to keep our heads. Now, we've all sort of humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
Oh, he is harmless.
He was harmless. That's why he has to go to Happydale. Why he has to be confined.
Mortimer, why did you suddenly turn against Teddy, your own brother?
You've got to know sometime, so it might as well be now. Teddy, he's killed a man.
Oh, nonsense, dear.
What? There's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
You know?
Oh, yes, but that has nothing to do with Teddy.
Now, Mortimer, just forget about it. Forget you ever saw a gentleman.
Forget?
We never dreamed you, Pete.
But what's his name?
His name is Hoskins, Adam Hoskins. That's all we know about him except that he's a Methodist.
Well, how did he get there?
He died.
How did he die?
Now, Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
Well, how did the poison get into the wine?
Well, you see, we put it in wine because it's less noticeable. When it's in tea, it has a rather distinct odor.
You put the poison in the wine?
Yes, I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
So you knew what you'd done. You didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body.
Well, not at tea. That would have been very nice. Now, Mortimer, you know everything. Just forget about it. Martha and I have the right to our own little secrets.
And don't you go telling Elaine about it either. Oh, Abigail was out and dropped out of Miss Gulch. She's doing much better, but she would like to take juniors to the movies again.
Well, we must do that tomorrow or the next day.
Yes, but this time we'll go where we want to do. That boy's not going to drag me into another one of those scary pictures.
Hello? Al, do you know who this is? That's right. Say, Al, when I left the office, I told you where I was going, remember? Or what did I say? Uh-huh. Well, it would take me about half an hour to get to Brooklyn. What time have you got? That's right, I must be here. Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha!
Yes, dear?
What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
Well, I've got to do something, but I can't go to the police about this.
Well, for one thing, stop being so excited.
And for pity's sake, will you stop worrying? We told you to forget about the whole thing.
How can I forget that?
Mortimer, behave yourself. You're much told to be flying off the handle like this.
Mr. Hoskins.
Hoskins, dear.
Well, whatever his name is, we can't leave him there.
We don't intend to, dear.
Well, where are you going to put him?
We'll put him in the cellar like we did with the others.
Yes, Teddy's down there digging along right now.
You can't just put him there, not in the cellar. When you say others, do you mean others?
Yes.
More than one others?
Other gentlemen.
Yes. This is 11, isn't it, Abby?
No, dear, this makes 12.
Oh, I think you're wrong. This is only 11.
No, because when Mr. Hoskins came in, it occurred to me it made just an even dozen.
Well, we really shouldn't count the first one.
Oh, well, I was counting the first one. That makes it 12.
Hello? Let me talk to Al again. City desk. Al! City desk!
Well, anyways, they're all down at the cellar.
Shh! Oh no, I'm as sober as a lark. I just called you because I was feeling a little pirandello. Paran, you wouldn't know. Al, look, I'm glad you called. Get a hold of George right away. He's got to review the play tonight. I can't make it. No, Al, you're wrong. I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. Well, George has got to come to the play tonight. This is my department, and I'm running it. You get a hold of George. Now, where were we? 12?
Yes, your Aunt Abby thinks you ought to count the first one, so that makes 12.
Tell me where this all started.
Well, first one was Mr. Benchley. He was a Baptist.
Yes, it was right after you moved to New York.
You see, Mr. Benchley came looking for a room, and then it seemed right for such a lovely room to go the ways and so many people
He
needed
was
it.
such a lonely old man.
Oh, his kills and kin were jealous and so forlorn and unhappy.
And we felt so sorry for him.
And then, when his heart attack came, and he sat down in that chair, remember, Martha? He looked so peaceful. Remember, my sent there to help other lonely old men achieve the same peace we would.
That must be so awful for you. I mean, coming in here and dropping dead right in that chair.
Oh, no, dear. But I rather like the old days. Your grandfather always used to have a category or two around the house.
What?
That's why we told you not to worry about it, dear, because we know exactly what's to be done. You see, we told Teddy that he was a yellow fever victim.
And so
happening again, so...
You remember those jars of poison that have been on the shelves in Grandfather's laboratory all these years?
You remember your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things? You've eaten enough of her broccoli.
Well, dear, brew half a pound of elderberry wine and take 1 teaspoonful of arsenic, then add half a teaspoonful of citron and just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Oh, yes, as a matter of fact, no Virgil didn't even have time to say how delicious.
Well, I better get things started in the kitchen.
I wish you could stay for dinner.
I'm trying out a new recipe.
Couldn't eat a thing.
I'll come help you, dear. Well, I feel so much better now. Oh, you softly curling, don't you? How happy you must be. Well, dear, I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
It's you.
Well, don't be cross, darling. Father could see that I was excited, and I just had to tell him that it made it hard to get away. But listen, he's not going to wait up for me tonight.
Darling, you roll on home, but I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes, you know I call you up every day or two.
But we're going to the theater.
No, that's not happening tonight.
Well, why not?
And something's come up.
What, Mortimer, have you lost your job?
No, I haven't lost my job. I'm just not covering the play tonight.
Well, I'm sure you can tell me why.
I can't.
Well, I'm not leaving until I get some kind of explanation.
Elaine! Listen. Al? Oh, I know. It's important. It can wait a moment, can't it? Yes. I know. Just give me a moment, will you? Okay. Listen. Darling. You're a sweet girl, and I love you very much, but you need to roll out home. I've got quite a lot on my mind, and I just need you to go home.
Well, don't try to be masterful.
When we're married, I hope you're less tedious and uninspired.
If we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! Al, hello?
That's the doorbell, dear, not the telephone. Won't you come in?
I understand you have a room to rent.
Yes, won't you step in?
Are you the lady of the house?
Yes, I'm Miss Brewster, and this is my sister and mother, Miss Brewster.
I'm Mr. Gibbs.
Oh, won't you sit down? I'm sorry, we're just setting the table for dinner.
Hello? Let me talk to Al again. City desk. Al, city desk. What? I'm sorry, wrong number.
May I see the room?
Well, why don't you sit down a minute first and let's get acquainted?
That won't do much good if I don't like the room.
Is Brooklyn your home?
Haven't got a home, live in a hotel, don't like it.
Hello? City desk.
What church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
I'm Presbyterian, used to be.
What's George doing in Bermuda? Certainly I told him he'd go to Bermuda. It's my department, isn't it?
Are your family Brooklyn people?
Haven't got any family.
Al?
All alone in the world?
Yep.
Well, Martha. Well, you come just to the right house. Do sit down.
Yes, Al, it's Mort. We got cut off. I can't go to the play tonight. That's all there is to it. And I just can't.
Is there always this much noise?
Oh, he doesn't live with us.
Look, George is in Bermuda, all right, but there's got to be somebody around the place. Look, Al, how about the office boy? You know the bright one, the one we don't like? Well, you look around the office, I'll hold on.
I'd really like to see the room.
It's upstairs, but won't you please try some wine before you start off?
Never touch it.
Oh, but it's elderberry wine. We make it ourselves.
Ooh, elderberry wine. Haven't tasted elderberry wine since I was a boy. Thank you.
Well, there must be some printers around. Look out, the fellow who sets my copy. He ought to know about what I write. His name is Joe. He's the third machine from the left. But look out, he might turn out to be another Burns mantle.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
Oh no, but the cemetery is full of them.
Do you serve meals?
We might. First to see whether or not you like the wine.
No, I'm not drinking, but I'm going to start now.
Oh, Mortimer. Mortimer.
Mortimer, not that.
What are you doing? You want to die? Get out of here! Get out of here! I tell you, leave!
How have you ruined everything?
Aunties, you can't just do things like that. It's not really against the law. It's wrong. It's not a nice thing to do. I mean, they wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer.
The point I'm trying to get across to you is, I mean, this has become a very bad habit.
Now, Mortimer, me and Martha don't stop you from doing the things you love to do. Why should you interfere with us?
Give me a moment. Oh, well, Mort. Yes. Will you get a hold of O'Brien, our lawyer? Yes, tell him to meet me at the theater. Thank you, Al. Don't let me down, all right? Okay, I'm coming. I'm starting now. Aunties, I need you to promise me something.
You'd have to know what it was first.
I know you love me very much, and I love you. You would do anything to protect me, and I'd do the same. Now, I just need you to do one thing for me.
What do you want us to do?
Don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. Don't let anyone in this house, and don't move Mr. Hoskins.
Well, we were planning on holding services before dinner.
Services?
Why, certainly. You don't think we'd bury Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? Why, he was a Methodist.
I'm sure it can wait until I get back, can't it?
Oh, and then you can join us.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, Mortimer, you'll love the services, especially the hymns. And we're happy to please to sing before his voice changed.
But you need to remember this one thing. It's a promise.
Well,
Oh, Martha, we can do this now that he's cooperating with us. Well, all right, Mortimer.
Wonderful. Now, have you got any paper?
Here's some stationery. Will this do?
Yes, thank you. I can save time if I write my review on the way to the show.
Mortimer didn't seem quite himself today.
Well, that's something natural. I think I know why.
Why?
Well, he's just become engaged to be married. I suppose that makes any man nervous.
I'm so happy for him on the way, and their honeymoon should give Mortimer a real vacation. I don't think he got much rest over the summer.
Well, at least he didn't go kiting off to China or Spain.
Yes, I can never understand why I wanted to go to those places.
Well, I think to Mortimer, the theater's always seemed pretty small potatoes. He's something bigger to criticize, something like the human race.
Oh. Well, if Mortimer's going to be joining us for the services, we'll need another hymnal. There's one in my room.
You know, dear, I was thinking that it's really my turn to hold the services, but since you weren't here, Mr. Hoskins came, you do it.
Well, that's very kind of you, but are you sure?
It's only fair.
Well, in that case, I think I'll wear my black bonsai and Mother's old brooch.
I'll go, dear.
Wait, can you promise Mortimer not to let anyone in?
Well, who do you suppose it is?
I don't know. I'll look. It's two men. I've never seen them before.
Are you sure?
Yes. There's a car at the curb. They must have come in that.
Let me look.
Do you recognize them?
They're strangers to me.
We'll just have to pretend we're not at home.
Come in, Doctor. This was the home of my youth. As a child, I couldn't wait to escape, but now I'm glad to escape back into it.
Yeah, Tony, it's a fine hideout.
The family must still live here. There's something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. Hope there's a fattened calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Yeah, Tony, I'm hungry. Tony, look, drinks.
Oh, as if we were expected, a good omen.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, it's me, Jonathan.
You get out of here!
Jonathan, your nephew?
Oh, no, you're not. You're nothing like your nephew, Jonathan, so don't pretend you are. Just get out of here.
I am. This is Dr. Einstein.
He's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Herman Einstein.
Who are you? You're not Jonathan.
I see you still wear the lovely garnet ring that grandmother bought you in England. And you, the collar to cover where grandfather's scar acid burned you.
His voice is like Jonathan's.
Have you been in an accident?
Oh, no, my face, that would be Dr. Einstein. He is a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
But I've seen that face before somewhere. Oh, Abby, remember when I took that little Sculch boy to the movies and I was so frightened? It was that face.
Easy, Tony. Listen, last 5 years, I gave Tony 3 new faces. I give him a new one right quick, but this last face, I saw the picture too just before I operate. I was a bit intoxicated.
Do you see what you've done to me? Even my own family, Doctor.
Easy, Tony. Listen, how often he tells me about Brooklyn, about this beautiful house, about all the aunts that he just loves so much. Come on, you know it's Jonathan. Talk to him so.
Well, Jonathan, it's been a long time. What have you been doing?
Yes, what have you been doing?
Well, first there was England, then from there I went to South Africa, Australia, and the last 5 years in Chicago with Dr. Einstein. We were in business together.
We were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
Oh, yes, we found Chicago awfully warm.
Yeah, we found Chicago a bit hot too.
Well, it's wonderful to be in Brooklyn again. And you, Aunt Martha, and Abby, it's wonderful to see you two. And you haven't changed a bit. Still the kind, sweet, hospitable ladies that you were. And Teddy, did he make it into politics? My brother was determined to become the president, Doctor.
Oh, Teddy's fine, just fine. And Mortimer's well, too.
I know all about Mortimer. I saw him at the head of his column. He's apparently fulfilled all the promise of his early nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it's very nice to be seeing you again, but...
Bless you, Aunt Martha. It's wonderful to be home again.
Oh, hell, Martha, I wasn't let what's in the kitchen boil over.
Yes, unless you have somewhere to be, Jonathan. Oh.
Well, Tony, what do we do now? The police, they've got that face. And we got Mr. Spinoza. We gotta find a place for him.
And worry on that rat.
But, Tony, we got the hot stiff on our hands.
Forget Mr. Spinoza.
Tony, you can't just leave a dead body in the rumble seat. We got to find a place for him. And you gotta get that face changed.
He called me Boris Karloff. And it's your work, Doctor. You did that to me.
Listen, I can fix it real quick.
Tonight.
Listen, I have to eat first. I'm hungry. I'm weak.
Jonathan, we're so happy you took the trouble to stop by and say hello. But you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy while you were in it, so we've come to say goodbye.
I can't say that this comes as a surprise. I've spent many hours regretting the many heartaches I must have given you as a boy.
You were quite a trial to us, Jonathan.
But my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. I promised him that no matter how quickly we ran through Brooklyn, we'd stop by for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked meals.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid there wouldn't be enough.
Well, Abby, it is a pretty good-sized pot roast.
A pot roast.
And I think it's the least we can do since they just got...
Then it's settled. We'll stay for dinner.
Well, we'll hurry it along.
Yes.
Jonathan, if you want to freshen up, just use the washroom in your grandfather's old laboratory.
Grandfather's laboratory? Is that still there?
Oh, yes, just as he left it. Well, I'm going to help Martha get things started. I know we're on the hurry.
Well, we got some mail on your line.
Doctor, Grandfather's laboratory just as he left it. It'll be the perfect operating room.
Too bad we can't use it.
That and the 10 beds in the attic, we could make a fortune here once we get settled.
Why work yourself up, Shawnee? Besides, for Brooklyn, I think we're just a year too late.
You don't know this town like I do, Doctor. Everyone in Brooklyn needs a new face.
So many of the old faces are locked up.
Only a small percentage. And the boys in Brooklyn are famous for paying generously to stay out of jail.
Take it easy, Shawnee. Your aunts don't want us here.
Staying for dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but after dinner?
Just leave that to me, Doctor. This house could be our headquarters for years.
Oh, that would be beautiful, Shawnee. Oh, your aunts, I'm starting to love them already. Then go get their bags, yeah?
No, first we have to be invited.
But you just said.
We'll be invited.
And if they say no?
Doctor, 2 helpless old women.
It's like comes true, a beautiful dream. Only I hope it isn't you dreaming. I mean, this house is just so peaceful.
That's why it's perfect for us. It's just so peaceful. Why, yes, aunties, I believe that the happiest and busiest years of my life were spent in Chicago.
And after Chicago, we go to South Bend, Indiana.
I don't think they'll be interested in our experience in South Bend.
Well, Jonathan, you've led such an interesting life, but I'm afraid that...
I believe that the whole course of my life changed with meeting Dr. Einstein. You remember I had been in South Africa, the diamond business, then Amsterdam, the diamond market, and I wanted to go back to South Africa, and Dr. Einstein made that possible for me.
Yes, I gave him a brand new face. The face was so good that when he took the bandages off, the nurse had to reintroduce me.
I loved that face. I still carry a photo of it with me.
Well, this looks more the way you used to look, but I still wouldn't know you.
I think we'll go back to that face, Doctor.
Yeah, it's safe now.
Well, I know you both want to get to where you're going.
Oh, and Abby, I'm just so full of that delicious dinner, I can hardly move a muscle.
Me too.
After all, it's getting very late and we must...
I found it! I found it!
What did you find, Teddy?
The story of my life. My biography. You see, General Goggles, that's the picture I was telling you about. General Goggles and President Roosevelt and coal-bearing kites.
My, how they've changed.
Well, this photo has been taken yet. Now, I would like you to accompany me to Panama.
No, Teddy, not to Panama.
Yeah, not the Panama. This is a long way off.
Nonsense. It's down in the cellar.
The cellar?
Oh, we let him dig the Panama Canal down in the cellar.
General Goggles, as the person who gave me this job, the President of the United States and the Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, I command you to go down to Panama with me.
Teddy, I believe you ought to go to bed.
Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson, and I believe you ought to go to bed.
You don't look like Wilson. But you do look familiar. Perhaps we'll know me later. In the jungle, on my afternoon safari.
This is your brother Jonathan, dear. He's had his face changed.
So that's it. A nature.
And perhaps you'd better go to bed. Jonathan and his friend have to get back to their hotel.
General Goggles, inspect the canal.
Well, Mr. President, we're off to Panama.
Bully. Just bully. Follow me. It's down south, you know.
Well, bon voyage.
Aunt Abby, I must correct your misapprehension. You spoke of our hotel and we don't have one. We came directly here.
Well, it's a very nice little hotel.
Aunt
just-
Martha, this is my home.
But Jonathan, we need our rooms.
You need them?
For our lodgers.
You have lodgers in this house?
Well, not just now, but we do plan to have some.
Then my old room is still free.
But Jonathan, there wouldn't be room for Dr.
So just stay with me.
No, Jonathan, you can't stay here.
But Dr. Einstein and I need a place to stay. And as you remembered earlier, I could be quite difficult as a child. I really don't think it would be good for any of us if...
Perhaps we better let him stay here. Well, just for tonight.
Then it's settled. You'll go get my room ready?
Yes, it only needs marrying on.
You've been ready to show our lodgers. I think you and Dr. Einstein will find it so comfortable.
You have a most distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. I'm afraid you don't appreciate his skill, but you will. Very soon you'll see me looking like a very different Jonathan.
Well, he can't offer it on you here.
Once we get settled, I almost forgot to tell you, we're turning Grandfather's old laboratory into an operating room. We expect to be quite busy.
Jonathan, you will not let you turn this house into a hospital.
Not a hospital. It'll be a beauty parlor.
Johnny, down in the cellar.
Oh, doctor. My aunts have invited us to live with them.
Oh, you fixed it.
Well, you're staying here.
Please get my room ready immediately.
Well, for tonight.
Johnny, when I go in the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
The Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
Yes, it's a whole city dug down there. It's about 6 feet long, 4 feet wide. It fits Mr. Spinoza perfectly.
Down there?
You'd think they knew they'd bring Mr. Spinoza along. Now that's hospitality.
A rather good joke on my aunts than having a body buried in the cellar.
How do we get them in?
Oh, yes, I suppose you can't walk him in through the front door. We'll drive the car around the house in between the cemetery and the window. Then we'll pull him in through there after aunties have gone to bed.
Ah, bed, just think we've got the bed tonight.
Easy, doctor. Remember that you're operating in the morning, and this time you'd better be sober.
I fix you up beautiful.
And if you don't,
Jonathan, your room is ready.
then you can go on to bed. We're moving the car around the house.
Oh, that's all right where it is until morning.
I wouldn't want to leave it in the road. That could be illegal.
Abby, what are we going to do about Jonathan?
Well, he's not going to stay more than one night in this house, for one thing. Oh, then neighbors say people come in here with the one thing to go out with another one.
Well, what are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, Mr. Hoskins. He can't be very comfortable in there. He's been so patient, the poor dear. He has to be able to take him downstairs right away.
Abby, I will not be inviting Jonathan to the funeral services.
Oh, no, we wait till I've gone to that and then hold the services.
President Goggles was very pleased with the size of the canal.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me, it's being shot to the general.
Although we mustn't tell him about it.
But it's his department.
No, Teddy, we mustn't tell him. We've just spoiled this whole visit.
It's all in my hands. Army regulations, you know.
No, Teddy, we must keep it a secret.
A state secret.
Yes, a state secret.
Promise.
You have the word of the president. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now, how are we going to keep it a secret?
Well, you go downstairs, and when I turn off the lights, when it's all dark, you come over and take the poor gentleman down the canal.
And then we can go down there and hold services.
May I ask the president to say a few words? Where is the poor devil?
He's in the window seat.
Dear me, hasn't spread there before.
Martha, when Jonathan and Dr. Einstein come back, we need to get them to bed right away.
Yes, then when they're asleep, we can hold services. Abby, I don't think I've ever seen Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, that's right, you're Alice. Will you come right over and see him now, dear? He's really quite nice looking for a Methodist.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Ow!
Oh, we're just bringing the bags in through here.
Jonathan, your room's waiting for you. You can head right up.
Oh, well, I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours, but you can go to bed.
Oh, you two must both be very tired, and we don't go to bed this early.
Well, you ought to. It's high time I came home to take care of the two of you.
Well, we were planning to go and see.
Aunt Martha, do you hear me? Go to bed. It's all right.
I'll wait till you're up and then turn off the lights.
Go on, Doctor. All right, Aunt Abby. You can turn off the lights now.
Just one moment, dear.
Turn off the lights now, Aunt Abby.
right, Tony.
All right, you go around the house and I'll open the window.
Oh no, he's too heavy for me. You go around and push. I stay here and pull.
All right, just wait until I knock on the window to open it.
I left this open. Yeah, Tony, is that you? Okay, just bring him in. Okay, legs. Okay, that. Shut up, this is me.
Be more careful.
Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Hey? Is that you? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
Then what are you doing here?
I came to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Doctor, turn on the lights. Just a rather untimely moment for a social call.
I think you'd better explain what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm in this house every day and I've never seen you before.
Perhaps we ought to introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein. A surgeon of...
Einstein.
Yes, a surgeon of great distinction. And something of a magician.
And I suppose you're going to tell me that you're bored.
I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan.
I see you've heard of me.
Just this morning for the first time, actually.
What was said?
Just that there was another brother named Jonathan. Well, that explains everything. I'll just be on my way. If you'll kindly unlock the door.
Well, that explains everything. What did you mean by that? And what are you doing here at this time of night?
I thought I saw someone prowling around the
You
house.
thought you saw someone prowling around the house?
Out back by the car.
You thought you saw someone out by the car?
Yes,
What else did you see?
just that's all.
What else did you see?
That's it. That's you, and that's your car. Then I'll just be on my way.
What was the man doing at the car?
I don't know. You see, I was on my way over here.
I think you're lying.
I think she tells the truth, Tony. We left her go.
I think she's lying. And I think she's dangerous. Breaking into a house at this time of night? She shouldn't be allowed to
You
leave.
can't talk to me.
Doctor,
It's supposed to be a private funeral.
Teddy, don't even know who I am.
It's my dog, Alice.
your handkerchief. The cellar.
What's going on? What's happening down there?
We caught a burglar, a sneak thief.
Who called the police?
We've already called the police. Go to bed.
Well, are you sure if everything's okay? What are you doing here,
Mortimer! Where have you been?
To the Nora Bay Seater, I should have known better. By God, I'm still there.
This is your brother Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein?
I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is it?
I've come home, Mortimer.
What did you say this was again?
This is your brother Jonathan, dear. He's had his face changed. Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
Brother, you always were a horror, but you have to look like one.
Easy, Johnny.
Brother, do you forget the things that I did to you when we were a boy? Do you remember that time you were tied to the bedpost? The needles under your fingernails?
By God, it really is you. I remember you as being the most detestable, vicious, venomous form of animal life that I ever knew.
But don't you two boys start quarreling again the minute you see each other.
Don't worry, Aunt Abby, there won't be a fight. Jonathan, you're not wanted here. Now get out!
I've been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Oh, hell. Just for tonight.
I don't want him anywhere near me.
But Mortimer, we promised him to stay for the night, and it wouldn't be very nice of us to go back on our room.
All right, just for tonight, the first thing in the morning, out. Now where is he sleeping?
Jonathan's old room?
That's my old room. He can't sleep there. I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, I'm so glad.
We should sit down here, Tommy.
You bet your life you sleep down here.
You sleep on the sofa, I sit in the window seat.
The window seat? No, I assure you it's okay. I'm fine sleeping on the window seat. No need to argue.
You know, all the arguments starting to remind me of Mr. Spinoza.
Mr. Spinoza. Well, brother, you don't have to sleep down here tonight. We'll just pack up our things and you can have our room.
Brother, your sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
Yeah, Johnny, why don't we just go upstairs and pack our bags?
Oh, no, Doctor, don't worry about that. It's fine.
By the way, Doctor, I've completely lost track of Mr. Spinoza.
Who is this Mr. Spinoza?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a defendant I'm looking for.
Well, don't bring anyone else in the house.
Johnny, come on, I'll tell you all about it when I pack our bags.
Mortimer, you don't have to sleep down here. I can go with Martin. You can take my room.
And Abby, it's really no problem. We'll be packed in a moment.
Brother, I already told you that I'm sleeping down here tonight.
Mortimer,
What's wrong, darling?
I've almost been killed.
You've almost been... Abby, Martha!
Oh, no, it's Jonathan. He just took a bursting feet.
No, it's more than that. He's some kind of maniac. Mortimer, I'm afraid of him.
Darling, you're trembling. Have you got any smelling salts?
No, but maybe some hot tea or coffee?
Coffee, and some sandwiches too. I haven't eaten anything.
We'll make some for the both of you. Well, I guess this means our plans are canceled, Martha. Yes. I do hope we can go later, though. Yes.
Plans? But were you going somewhere? It's almost 12? Elaine, you have to get going.
What? Why? You want the sandwiches for you both. It won't take but a minute. Oh, yes, remember we want to celebrate your engagement. Well, that's what we'll do. We'll make a nice supper for the both of you. And we'll open a bottle of wine.
All right. No wine!
Mortimer, what is going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
We were supposed to go to dinner and the theater and then called it off. And then you proposed to me. Not even 15 minutes later, you're throwing me out of the house. And then your brother tries to kill me. Here you are throwing me out again. I won't leave until I've gotten it straight. Do you love me?
Elaine, I love you so much that I cannot marry you.
Have you suddenly gone mad?
Not yet, but it's only a matter of time. You see, there's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. Insanity, it runs through it, it practically gallops.
Well, not just because Teddy's a little bit...
Not Teddy, it starts a very long time ago with the first Brewster. You see, the one that came over on the Mayflower. You know how the Indians used to scalp the settlers? Well, he used to scalp the Indians.
Well, darling, that's ancient history.
And not just that, there's my grandfather as well. I mean, he used to test out his patent medicines on dead people to make sure that he wouldn't kill them.
Well, he wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And there's Jonathan. You said he was a maniac, that he tried to kill you.
Well, he's your brother, not you. I'm in love with you.
There's Teddy, too. You know Teddy. No, darling, no Brewster should ever marry. If I had known my father, I would have stopped him.
But none of this proves that you're crazy. I mean, look at your eggs. They're the sanest, sweetest people I've ever met.
Well, even they have their peculiarities.
Of course, like generosity and kindness and sympathy. And...
There's another one.
Oh, darling, of course there's plenty more.
And I'm not going to. Elaine, you've got to go home. Something's come up.
Up from where? We're here alone.
Darling, you need to go home, all right? I'll call you up tomorrow.
Well, won't you at least walk me home, Mortimer? I'm afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what? A little walk through the cemetery.
Well, Mortimer, won't you kiss me goodnight?
Of course, dear. Oh. Darling, you run along home and I'll call you up tomorrow.
You critic!
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha!
We'll be in a minute, dear.
No, you come in here right now.
Yes, dear, what is it? Where's Elaine?
I thought I told you not to let anyone else in the house.
Well, Jonathan just walked in,
I'm not talking about Jonathan.
and Dr. Einstein was with him.
I'm not talking about